After a few weeks tracing the west coast of Senegal, it was time to cross into one of Africa's smallest nations, the Gambia. A sliver of a country completely enveloped by Senegal. Its borders gently follow the winding path of the Gambia River. Our first stop was Senegambia, a lively beachside town near the capital Banjul. Known for its resort feel and tourist buzz, it still offered moments of natural beauty and quiet wonder. The coastline stretched endlessly, perfect place to relax for a few days, and we also had a few wildlife encounters with monkeys in the treetops and crocodiles bathing on the forest floor. And here's how it went.
Hey guys, thanks for clicking the video. Real quick, if you find this video helpful or entertaining in any way and you want to help support the channel and this type of travel content, you can become a monthly Patreon by clicking the link in the description, or you can leave a one-time super thanks on the YouTube platform. No one's paying me to make these videos. I simply do it because I'm passionate about bringing these foreign destinations, cultures, and experiences to you. So if you want to help the channel out, definitely leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That really helps as well. So thanks for your support. Now let's get to the adventure. Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to my 133rd country, the Gambia. Gambia is one of the smallest countries in mainland Africa, and it has just a fascinating shape. It's this little strip that fits within Senegal, taking you along the Gambia River all the way to the ocean here, and eventually I'm hoping to go up the Gambia River and see a little bit more of the inland of this country. But yeah, very fascinating shape when you see it on a map. But it was a long travel day yesterday. Coming from Senegal, we took a 4-hour boat ride. We took a taxi to the border, a taxi to the ferry, a long chaotic ferry, and then another taxi to our hotel here. And we have finally made it to Senegambia, which is kind of the touristy beach area of Gambia, and it's near Banjul, the capital, which we just drove through briefly yesterday. And I don't know if I'm going to go back because there wasn't a lot to see there. There was an arch that I wanted to see that we ended up driving through. But I'm going to spend a couple of days here on the more touristy coastal area where we just have these really long, beautiful beaches. There's some resorts here. There's a little bit of like a tourist district that has some craft markets and some shops and some restaurants. And I'm staying just a block from the beach here, so I have access to this beautiful sandy beach, and it's just a great place. You're on the west coast, so you just have amazing sunsets from here. And I'm going to show you just a couple of the things that you can do in the Senegambia region. And this afternoon I'm going to start by going to the Beillo monkey forest, which is just not too far from where I'm staying and not too far from the Senegambia tourist strip, where you can go in and see some of the monkeys here. So yeah, let's walk along the beach and then eventually we'll cut into the forest. Alright guys, I have just walked along the beach and I cut up into the Beillo monkey forest here, and I paid 300 dalasi, which is about $4, and then I paid 100 for a bag of peanuts because I guess you can feed some of the monkeys here. So yeah, just starting to walk now. It's just nice and cool in the forest here, and again, you're just right along the beach, so you can see the water through the trees there. So yeah, let's go check out some monkeys. so far the walk has been very chill. I've probably seen about 10 monkeys, and honestly, I thought they would be a lot more aggressive since they're probably habituated to being fed, but they really are minding their own business. I just have like one or two that are following me, and I'm handing them a few peanuts here and there every once in a while. But yeah, very just peaceful, chill walk though. A couple birds fluttering around as well, but I know that there's a species of red monkey in here, so I'm looking for that species as well. Been a lot harder to find monkeys than I thought here, but I just saw a couple jumping around in those trees over there, so I'm gonna go under those and see if I can get a closer look and see if they're the red species. Finally got a sighting of the red colobus monkeys, which are the most rare in this park. Here I can see them right through the gap in the trees here, and unfortunately I didn't bring my telephoto, so I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit closer. Alright guys, that was incredible. Even though I couldn't get like a really good view of them, it was just amazing to see the red colobus monkey here. And I really wish I brought my telephoto. Usually I always bring it, but it's so heavy, so I didn't even think to bring it here. But yeah, very cool to just see them jumping around the trees above me and hear the rustling. So yeah, but let's carry on through the forest here, see what else we find. I have just walked the length of Beillo Park, and there's about a mile worth of trails that you can walk through the park here. And again, you're just surrounded by beautiful vegetation. But right here at the end, I've seen a couple more of these vervet monkeys, and there's one right above me here, right in this tree. He's letting me get pretty close to him, which is pretty cool. And you just have these amazing palm trees up above us. So anyways, from here, I think I'm gonna turn back around and head back towards the entrance of the park. Almost back at the entrance of Beillo, and it looks like there were some tourists that just came through here because there's a lot of monkeys eating peanuts on the path here. So seeing a lot more. They probably hang out closer to the entrance because they know that's where people are coming from. But yeah, so let's keep walking and we'll be out of here soon. Alright guys, so that was the Beillo Monkey Park there. And yeah, just a beautiful little forest path. I was actually surprised there weren't more monkeys. I was expecting a lot more monkeys, but especially there at the beginning, you get a lot of the ones that are looking for the peanuts from the tourists. But then super stoked, I found the red collarless monkeys deep back there. That was actually very lucky, I guess. I think they're quite rare in the park. But yeah, got to see them from a distance, see them jumping around the trees above us. And again, just a nice walk through there. You can hear the ocean through the trees because it's just like right along the ocean. So very cool little spot. We are not too far from the touristy Senegambia strip, and there's a craft market there that I want to show you guys. And that's also where there's a lot of like restaurants and shops along the main strip there. Nothing too exciting in my opinion, but I want to show you guys the Senegambia craft market. So let's go check it out. Right next to the Senegambia main strip where it hits the main road on the corner here, we have the Senegambia craft market, and it's this big open area. You have a lot of these colorful stalls, lots of like different jewelry, fabrics, wood carvings, and you can see some of the craftsmen working on some of their crafts here as well. So let's walk around this colorful market and check out some of the wares of Senegambia. So that was the Senegambia craft market here right on the main strip of the tourist area. And again, this is where you'll get a lot of the restaurants and bars, and then eventually this road will take you to the beach. And then I'm about a mile down the beach from here, so I'm gonna head down to the beach, catch the sunset. We have about 45 minutes until the sun sets over the Atlantic Ocean. So let's go check that out, and we'll just kind of walk through the main Senegambia strip here. Again, I don't find that there's too much here. It's just kind of like restaurants and touristy shops. But yeah, a nice little area to go out to eat, and then takes you down to the beach. I've just walked down the Senegambia tourist strip, again full of restaurants, bars, clubs, and annoying taxi drivers, and I've made it to the long, vast Senegambia Beach here, and it's just this beautiful sandy beach, and relative to most African beaches, there's very little trash on the beach. I'm walking right along the Beillo forest where we saw some of the monkeys earlier, and I have the sun setting over the western coast of the Atlantic here, and it's just a beautiful beach and very calm and peaceful here. I think at some of the resorts it might be a little bit busier, but here along the forest it just feels completely natural, which is just beautiful. So yeah, gonna watch the sunset from my apartment, which is again about a mile down the beach here, and yeah, just enjoy the evening here. And then tomorrow the plan is to go up the coast to the little town of Beillo. So yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning when we explore more of the coast of Gambia. Good morning, guys. It is the next day here on the coast of the Gambia from the 4th floor of my apartment. Beautiful view looking out on the ocean. And again, today we're gonna head a little bit north of the Senegambia tourist strip to the town of Beillo. And there's a little crocodile pond there, and then there's also the mouth of the Gambia River and a couple little beaches, maybe a little bit to see in the old town here. So we're gonna get a taxi. It's about a 15-20 minute drive from here up to Beillo to check out that part of this part of Gambia. So yeah, let's head to the taxi and start heading up to Beillo. We have just had about a 20-25 minute ride from the Senegambia area out to Beillo, and this is where we are going to enter the Kachikali crocodile pool, and there's a little museum here as well that we're going to enter, and it was about 100 dalasi, or about $1.50 to enter the park here. So yeah, let's head in, check out the museum, learn a little bit, and then see the crocodiles. That was a nice little museum here, and I didn't know that the admission also included the museum. And there's about 5 different rooms, and they all kind of focus on different parts of Gambia's history and culture. And you saw some cultural masks, some jewelry, some instruments, and then there was also a little bit history about World War II, and then there was also one about Gambia's independence, and just gave us a nice overview of the history of this geographically unique country that's kind of nestled along the Gambia River, right in between Senegal. So from the museum, there's a little path out here that I think is going to take us to the Kachikali crocodile pond, and we'll see some of the crocodiles here. We have just made it to the crocodile pond. It's just right behind the museum there, and there's a little pond there with some crocodiles swimming, but we have about 20 crocodiles just sitting on the ground here. And I guess if you're advised by the guide here, you can go down and touch the crocodiles, give them a little pet. They seem very chill, very docile. A few of them are moving around very slowly, but it's still like kind of crazy that you're just walking around. There's no fence or anything, and there's just all these wild crocodiles, which of course have been habituated towards humans a little bit, but yeah, just these crazy old crocodiles right here. That was the Kachikali crocodile park here, and we got to see about 30 crocodiles here. There's some on the ground up there, but then there are a few just swimming around in the pond here, and it was amazing how close you could get to them and just see the detail of the crocodile skin, see how sharp and jagged some of their teeth were. And again, if you wanted to and you were brave enough, you could go over and pet one of the crocodiles with one of the handlers. So yeah, very fascinating and amazing to be so close to these supposedly very fast and powerful creatures. So yeah, very interesting. So anyways, from here I think we're going to kind of work our way through the town of Beillo, eventually making it to the Gambia River, and we'll get to see the mouth of the Gambia River where the ocean meets the river. So yeah, let's head through town and eventually head to the coast. We have just walked through the little town of Beillo there, and there wasn't really too much to see in some of those back streets and neighborhoods, and we've come to the roundabout where we'll head eventually to the coast here. But right at the roundabout there's a bit of an African craft market here, so if you wanted to come see some more of the colorful handicrafts that are made here in Gambia, you can buy some shirts and some jewelry, some masks, some wood carvings. So yeah, just a very colorful little shop to shop around. Right across the street from the Beillo craft market, we stumbled upon the botanical gardens, and it was only 50 dalasi, so less than $1 to enter. So we're just gonna walk around, check out some of the plants and the vegetation in the botanic garden here. It looks like it's in a little bit of disrepair, but you have this nice sound of the birds in the air, and then just a wide variety of plants to check out. So yeah, let's go for a little walk. That was a brief 15-20 minute walk around the botanic gardens here. It's honestly not the most well manicured of gardens, but you do have some really interesting diversity in some of the trees, a few flowers, and then the really beautiful thing is just the sound of the birds throughout here. You just have this beautiful chirping. But anyways, from here we're gonna head back out to the road, and we have about less than half a mile walk to the beach. So yeah, let's keep exploring Beillo. We have walked all the way to the end of Cape Point, and this is the edge of Beillo, and it's right at the corner where the Gambia River opens up into the Atlantic Ocean. And it looks like it's actually a pretty quiet beach place. There are a couple like resorts that are right along the edge of the beach here, but you just have this vast open sandy beach with a couple of these rocky piers that are jutting out. And I think there's a couple like restaurants and stuff along here, but it definitely seems a lot more quiet, a lot less touristy than the busy strip of Senegambia. So anyways, I'm probably gonna fly up the drone, get some nice views. So I just went for a little walk along the beach here, and I also flew up my drone to get a nice view of that kind of point at where the Atlantic Ocean and the Gambia River meet. And again, you just have this really long, vast beach. There's a couple resorts here that look pretty nice, and again, it's just a very quiet beach. So there's not like a lot of activity, just like some beach loungers and a nice place probably to just relax, but not a lot of activities necessarily to do. But I think I'm gonna wrap up the Banjul Senegambia video here. And again, this is just our first introduction to the Gambia, and it was a mostly touristy beach resort. So it was a really nice place to relax. We had a couple days there where I just had a beach day and some work days from the apartment. So it was a good place to kind of relax and plan the rest of our Gambia trip, where we're gonna be heading upriver the next couple days. And again, from here you could get to Banjul, but it's almost like half an hour, 45-minute taxi drive, And there wasn't a lot to see there. There was like a museum I would have liked to see. That archway that we drove through would have been interesting to see. There may have been a mosque and a market there, but again, it also was quite chaotic the one day that we were in there to cross over with the ferry. So don't feel like I'm missing out on too much by not seeing the heart of Banjul, but a nice, chill, relaxing beach area here along the coast of Gambia. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow when we head up the Gambia River and see a little bit more of this tiny little country engulfed by Senegal. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time.